Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this week's Socratic Dialogue. So, before we start, everyone please introduce yourselves.
Hi, myself Disha. I'm coach of emotional profilers team.
Hello, I'm Aditya. I am with Team Emotional Profilers.
Hi, I'm Vanshika and I'm from the team Emotional Profilers.
Good evening, everyone. I'm the team coach for the Empathy Task Force.
Hello everyone, I am Shivangi. I'm from the Empathy Task Force.
Hello, everybody. This side Karthik from the team The Empathy Force.
Hello everyone, this side Pratik Raj and I'm the co-moderator of this today's ST.
Good evening, everyone. This is Ananya Agrawal, and I'll be the moderator for this session. So, the topic for today's Socratic Dialogue is emotional profile, and we have two teams. Team A, the Empathy Task Force, and Team B, Emotional Profilers. So, which team would like to go first to share their pitch?
Yeah, we would like to go first.
Okay, so team emotional profilers, you can start your pitch by sharing the name of your team and a short summary of why you chose that name, followed by the pitch.
Sure. So our name is Emotional Profilers, our name of our team. So we choose this name Emotional Profilers because, as you know, that our emotions are not something random. They kind of follow a structure. So this presentation break that structure down by looking at the situation and how we interpret it and what happens in our body and how we act it. So it shows like why emotions show up the way they do. Yeah. Uh, could you please share the slide?
Sure.
Aditya. Yeah. Yeah. So profiling people is really about getting a basic sense of someone about like before working with them. So for example, a resume is the easiest example here. So you look at the education experience of them and past roles and how you get idea of how that person might work or handle the responsibility. So it helps reduce that guesswork and makes decision more feel practical and relevant. Moving to next slide. So, profiling emotions work in a similar way. The same emotion tends to come up in the same kind of situation, like fear during danger, sadness after loss. So, these pattern keep showing across the people with the time. And looking at the emotion this way, it helps explain why reaction happen the way they do. Over to you, Aditya.
Thank you, Disha. So, situations that trigger emotions. So, throughout history, humans have faced the same core situations: loss, threat, opportunity, and block goals. Each one reliably triggers certain emotions. Loss brings sadness, threat creates fear, opportunity leads to happiness. That's why people across cultures often feel similar emotions in similar situations. So, emotions don't come from events alone, they come from how we interpret them. Two people can experience the same situation and feel very different emotions based on what it means to them. That interpretation shapes how strongly we react and the decisions we make. So, emotions don't just tell us how we feel, they push us to act. So, fear makes us avoid, anger pushes us to confront, and happiness draws us towards others. So, most of this happens automatically, quietly influencing everyday choices and workplace behavior. Thank you. That's my side. Over to Vanshika.
Okay, so till now we have seen that how emotions are affecting our day-to-day life choices. So now we will see that how emotions are affecting our physical states also. So I will give an example. Suppose you are going as a fresher for a job interview. So maybe you seem fine from your face, but internally what you will experience, your heart rate may increase. You will you will face anxiety and all. So this is the connection between body and emotion. I will give you one more example. So suppose you are watching a film sitting on your couch with your family. What type of physical state you will feel? You will feel relaxed, you will feel calm. So this is the relation between body and emotion. Next slide. So now we got to know that how emotions are affecting our day-to-day lives. Now what should we do? Should we suppress our emotions or should we try to understand them? So emotions evolve to serve important functions like protecting us from danger, supporting social connection, and all. So emotions have a root cause. That's why they're arising. So instead of suppressing them, we should try to understand the root cause of them so that we can solve the root cause of our problems. So the key message here is emotions provide information, and that's a key. And we should try to find the root cause, and then we can solve our problems. Next slide. Okay, so the conclusion here is that emotions are meaningful when they're understood through these five parameters, that is situation, appraisal, behavior, physiology, and function. By doing this, uh, we will not tag our emotions as good or bad, because fear is not a bad emotion, anger is not a bad emotion. They are just the consequences of a root cause. So instead of suppressing them, by learning them, we can understand the root cause, and then we can arrive at better solutions to our problems, that why they are arising. So the outcome here is that greater emotional intelligence will lead to empathy, self-awareness, and better life decisions. So yeah, that's all from our team side. Thank you. Over to next team.
Thank you so much, team emotional profilers. Now the question box is open to team empathy.
Okay, so the question I would like to ask team emotional profilers is, how would you solve the problem of team members that are emotionally disengaged or aren't resonating with what you want and are not responding emotionally well to what you've asked or what is required by the organization?
So could you just explain more about that? What do you mean by emotional disconnect?
Like there's a certain situation or suppose you have to develop a tool, and your team is not in that state, it is not focused, or maybe it's just showing a lack of seriousness, or is not in that zone of performing that work. So how would you encourage them to do this by taking this seriously?
So I think in this situation, we can implement this emotional profile, this whole formula. So firstly, we need to understand that how the situation is being interpreted by the each individual in this particular situation, that we call appraisal here. And also, whatever the action the team members is doing, so what the emotions make them do it. So we need to understand the behavior of that each individual, and also accordingly, we need to understand that why that emotion is happening, like that is like what is making that emotions occur, and accordingly we need to track that how each individual is acting upon the each these emotions, and accordingly we need to solve the problem and make the solution of it.
All right, this one understood.
Any follow-up questions?
I have a question. So, like as you mentioned about emotional profiling, so human emotions can be really complex, and sometimes people are in their gray areas. Like even if you follow a proper structure, you cannot demarcate like where the person is going. So, how do you think you can deal with this ambiguity, this dilemma?
Can you like explain the question in more detail? Can you provide the more details?
Like as a part of emotional profiling, like you have mentioned some structures like interpreting the situation and the behavior, but sometimes people fall in gray area, like we are not, like some person is able to interpret in a different manner, so there is always subjectivity. So like how can you
I
deal with
didn't
this
get you,
dilemma?
Swangi. Like, what do you mean by gray area?
Like
Shibangi, do you mean to say that the person is not fitting in the profile that
yes, absolutely,
was
absolutely,
just
Ananya.
explained by team emotional profilers, right? So how would that kind of emotion be managed?
Absolutely.
Like, is there any other approach by which you would you would want to manage their emotions by?
Of
I
course,
think
see, there's no way to quantify emotions. We can never understand emotions properly. That's the basis of human psychology. But what we can do is like give them some time, or we can talk to them. That's one thing. Otherwise, if that's not the case, we can always hire a psychologist, organizational psychologist to talk to them.
Okay, so we have counseling as one method.
Yes.
And I think that
Right.
if they are not even able to like comprehend their own emotions, that I think that they are really dealing with very high level of gray area, as you say, Shubhangi. So I think that every individual as a human needs some time for themselves if they are going to through that situation. So I think like they're not robots. We should assign them some time for themselves so
Okay,
that they can
time to
comprehend.
reflect upon their
Yeah,
emotions.
yeah, so that they can
Yeah.
understand better.
And adding to that, emotion profiling is not about like it is classifying people that as a person is actually meeting with a particular needs or not, but it is more about understanding that how the person or individual is processing the emotion. So yeah, I think in this situation we can able to implement this, like to understand that what is
Did
different,
this
what is going
answer
wrong.
your question?
Yes, thank you.
Any follow-up questions?
I have one follow-up question. Suppose if you are all other HR person and you hired a person who is a hard worker, but at the same time he's a emotional. He act on the very emotional things. Will you hire it in your company? For example, you hired a person who is a very emotional, but at the same time it perfectly suit your needs, the company needs. Will you hire him as a or your employee company employee or not? If yes or no, like explain your reasons.
I think that it doesn't depend if he's emotional or not. It more depends that how he's able to regulate his emotions according to the needs of the situation. That could be done by asking behavioral questions in the HR round. If he respond to better in a better way, that how he will deal those situations, then I think we can judge them on that basis. Rather, I think we should not judge anyone on basis if he's very emotional or not emotional at all. It's more that how he's regulating his emotions based on the situations he's facing. So I
Exactly.
Yeah.
think that
So, like, you cannot judge a person based on how they react, deal with emotions. That's very normal. Everyone has emotions, and everyone deals with their own way. But handling the situations, handling complex tasks, that needs monitoring. Because if they cannot handle tasks, then that's an issue. So, as long as they are doing their job, as long they are complying with it, then we can hire him or her.
Okay, team emotional profilers, I got satisfied from your answers. Now we can move to the next team pitch. Please explain your summary and the name of your reason, the reason behind your name.
Hello, everyone. So, for our team, the name is Empathy Task Force, because empathy plays a very practical role in how, teams function, especially when people are very new to the organization. Whenever someone joins a team, they are not just, learning the process or the tools. They are also trying to understand the expectations and whether they feel safe enough to speak up in an environment. So, we look at how emotions influence their everyday behavior at work, decision making, and relationships. We can then it will even help us the team to create better teams and feel supported from the team. Next slide, please. So when it comes to profiling people, we know that when someone joins an organization, we usually start by looking at their resume, but it only tells about their skills and the past roles, which does not tell how they will react when a certain thing doesn't go unplanned, or if any stressor or anxiety triggers them. So by understanding these emotions earlier, it is always helpful to assign them responsibilities in a better way and make sure they're emotionally comfortable in working in an environment. Next slide, please. Okay, so just like past experiences helps us future performance, emotional, profiling emotional helps in predicting future reactions. So emotional profiling is and helps to understand what energies a person stresses upon. This doesn't mean labeling someone as emotional or not emotional. Instead, it's about being aware that someone experiences or expresses themselves in a way that which they are born. Over time, these emotions, can help in building a stronger and cohesive environment. So that is where profiling emotion is very important. Thank you. That was for my slide. Over to Karthik.
So let's think about a situation like a blocker at work. Maybe a task got delayed or something doesn't work. For some people, that must feel like a threat or create stress, but for others, the same situation can feel like a challenge. So it's not just about the situation, it's about how we actually recognize or perceive it. Next slide, please. So this is where appraisals come in. Emotion, like to be honest, don't directly come from events. They come from how we interpret them actually. For example, let's take example of a new hire. If a new hire get a feedback in his first week only, like a person may take it as a learning, and another person may take it as a criticism at the same time. It actually that interpretation shapes the emotions and then decisions. Next slide, please. Heavy comes at the emotions and behavior. Emotions, like actually then emotions drive behavior. When people usually feel confident, they tend to approach the problems. When they feel anxious, it's usually seen that they avoid them. During induction, where the first impression matters a lot, if we design a environment that acknowledge emotions, we encourage proactive, solution focused behavior, helping new hires engage, ask question, and let them grow from the day one. Over to you, Vibhor.
Yes, so emotions are physically manifested. We can see, if some critical situation has arisen, we can see our heart rate increases, our breathing slows down, or maybe fastens up, and our facial expressions change. If some senior mentor is, giving you some scolding, or maybe is appreciating you for something, you may have a happy face or a sad face. Okay, and that are the physical cues that your body is giving you while experiencing some emotion. And emotions are there to serve a deeper purpose. They actually value us by a lot. If you are happy, you are more likely to have improved performance at your work. And if you are sad, and if you are in a sad state, you are more likely to not perform at your work at a very good pace. So you need to keep your emotions in check. Concluding the presentation, we need to understand the value of emotions. We need to track the situations, appraisals, behaviors, and what physiology we are having while tackling these emotions. And all this is to be understood and studied to support a progressive work culture. Thank you, everyone. And this was all from the Team Empathy Task Force.
Thank you, Team Empathy Task Force. So the question box is open for the emotional profilers. Go ahead.
I would go first. So, can you think of a time when loss, threat, or opportunity triggered a strong emotion for you?
Could you please just repeat what you said once again,
So, I just
Aditya?
want an example. So, when you face loss, threat, or opportunity, when you face these emotions, can you think of a time in deep thought?
Yes, I really remember when, I was being allotted HPF lab, and at that time, Karan asked me that you will be, designing prototypes, and then you will be having this AI agent wala thing. And at the time, I was really happy that I'll be getting some new thing to do. And back then, I was in CRM lab, so this lab change and technical things were changing. So I had a very happy expression at that time that yes, new thing is being provided to me. And yes, some I have faced, some bad emotions also. Like today also it happened, Tanun was again and again name dropping me, and then I was thinking that why is this happening. So it kind of creates some curiosity that why is this happening, and my face had some different expressions. So yeah, our bodies react to certain situations, and emotions are uh, need to be studied and tracked why these happen.
Follow-up questions. Do you think anyone else would have reacted the same way as you did?
Yes, yes, yes. Certain other people were also there, as I mentioned, and they were also maybe facing the same things that I was facing at that time.
And so my final, like the final conclusion question is, why do you think different people face, like even though the emotion is different, their way of reacting is different.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, my bad. It's my bad. Even though the emotion is same, their way of reacting is different. Why do people do that?
I think that is what's in their mind, and the person ability to perceive things differs, maybe by the you know reason of their upbringing or wherever their physical surroundings when they grew up. So this shapes the minds of people and how they react and why they react. We can see trends in like the parents that are very very composed and very in peace. Their children react in a very subtle. They don't react much, and they are very in peace. And the parents that are kind of more, they are more emotional and express emotions at a more frequency rate, their children also are like that. We can see like different trends also, but it happens more of our because of our upbringing and the surroundings we've been in.
Yeah, I'm quite satiated with Ibo's answer.
Yeah.
Did you satisfied, Aditya?
Yeah, that's what I said. Yes.
And yes, Team Empathy Task Force, you have only have 30 seconds to answer any of the questions. So please make sure your answer could end in 30 seconds. Any follow-up questions?
No, no.
Well, I have a question.
Yeah, Vanshika, please go ahead.
Okay, so there is a term called alexithymia, where it's often called like emotional blindness. In this, the person is unable to identify, understand, or describe their own emotions. So, how to deal with that person?
I think we should give them proper time. Like if we know that they are having this thing, we should give them map time and tell them you have this. There is no time constraint or not much time constraint. You can have take your time, and then like after some hours or some days, like whatever is necessary or what is required, we can tell them, yes, you may give your reflections or feedback or whatever you're having, or how do you want to express this thing, or how do you want to take this thing forward.
Any more follow-up questions?
Yeah, I have a one new question that how is profiling emotions is different from labeling emotions? For example, emotions like anger, happiness, fear, these are the labels which we put like type of emotion, but how profiling emotions is different from labeling emotions.
Okay, so profiling is labeling is that we are having this emotion at a particular time, and then profiling is like if we want to recruit people into our organization and we have to put them in a certain category, so then this trait is seen often in them. So labeling is just for one time that this person is having this emotion this time. So we give them a label at this time that this person is being furious, or maybe he's angry, and then she's maybe sad, because label works at one time, but profiling them is more sort of uh, taken from a longer perspective, that this trait is often seen in this person, so we are putting them, or maybe a mix of these three emotions makes this person in this profile. If he's being furious or angry at most of the time, then this person is having is more sensitive. Or maybe if this person is sad, or maybe he or she's more you know weep sometime, or maybe having some negative emotion. So accordingly, you may categorize them that this person drops in this category.
So can we say that
Thank you,
labeling
Sec-
emotion is a subpart of profiling emotion? Yeah.
Yeah, labeling is just for one instance, and profiling is just for a longer period of time.
Any more follow-up questions?
We are done from our side.
Okay, then if we don't have any questions, so I would like, before wrap up, I would like to welcome some few reflections from the ST participants. So who would like to go first?
Okay, then I will go first. So in this SJ, I got to know that instead of labeling our emotions as good or bad, nothing is good or bad. Actually, there is a root cause of everything. Fear, anger, all of this has root cause. So instead of like judging our emotions or judging someone's emotions also, we should understand the root cause, that why that is happening. And so that's why this profiling emotions is needed. So that definitely in professional life and as well as my personal life, I am going to apply this profiling. So I think it will lead to better decisions and better life for me.
Yeah,
Thank you,
one more thing.
Vansika.
Yeah, one more thing. Ki
Anyone?
if one person, has a general tendency to respond to things really quick and responding to emotions really quick, doesn't mean that everyone has this thing to respond very quickly to the emotions. People may take their own time, and we should give them up time to respond accordingly, not just judging them in maybe a second or 2 seconds. This thing should have been responded in this manner by this time. We should not put time constraints on people, and we should not judge them on this basis.
Thank you, Vibhu, for such a lovely reflection. Anyone?
So yeah, I would go next. So this session made me realize that emotions are not random reactions. They are patterns shaped by repeated life situations. So understanding that emotions come out not just from events, but how we interpret them. And so that's why people respond to them so differently. So it's about interpretation. And some people can interpret emotions differently. Some people might cry from those emotions, and some people might be just okay with it. Then that's why you should, there's not a quantitative answer or not a simple answer to any emotions. Every person, they are treated differently and their emotions are treated differently.
Thank you, Aditya. So anyone wants to reflect?
Yeah, I think in today's ST, we learn about, I think, emotional intelligence. That I think it is more about understanding the emotions, not about suppressing it. Because most of the common thing what people do, they suppress their emotion, they try to control it. But it is more about understanding it. So I think this topic, emotional profile, help us to understand this area, that how we can better able to understand our emotion and able to manage it, not able to suppress and control it. So yeah, that is what I learned, that how not to act impulsively, but act by understanding emotions function properly.
Thank you, Disaji. And where are the our Meta ST participants? I would like to have a few more reflections from the Meta ST participants, that what you got from the today's ST week.
Methodicity
Some people seem to have
participants
left the link.
as well as observers can reflect.
1 minute. Can all the team leads and micro leads check who's not on the link? Some people seem to have left the link. And Ria, just drop the names of observers who are on the link on Slack. Shubham, can you check if everybody from your team is on the link?
But
Varun, I asked
by
Ridhima to drop off.
understanding
She was very sick.
emotions
Okay,
function
okay.
properly.
Okay, you can carry on with the reflections. Drishti, just drop a message here. Maryada, drop a message here. Shubham, drop a message here of your teams. Ria, drop a message here of from the observers who's not here. Yeah, sorry, please continue the reflections.
Yes, so we can take up reflections from the Meta IST participants as well as from the observers. Come on, guys, who would
folks.
like to go in for the reflection?
Yes, go ahead.
I have had this mindset, and I've heard these things from people that in a workplace, emotions doesn't always matter. But I'm really glad that we are talking about emotions so much, and profiling emotions is important. And to understand what the other person is going through is very important. So I'm just glad that we are talking about it.
Thank you, Titus. Anyone wants to go? And please tell us also that what you got and how will you use it in your daily life and TT projects.